Noon. I am your homegirl, Coach Leah, and welcome to another episode of Coach Leah's After the Whistle. I'm your host, and today we have packed episode full of really great people that we want to talk with today. But before we get to that, I want to talk about some trendy topics with you guys. So during this past week, we've had a couple things that have popped on my radar that I want to share with you. The first is that our friend Shaquille O'Neal, who has made residence in Houston, Texas, has just opened 3 big chicken restaurants in the Houston area. So a little bit about Shaquille O'Neal. The legendary NBA player recently celebrated his grand opening of his new Big Chicken on Westheimer, a location in Houston, Texas. And this is one of 3 that are now open in the Houston Metroplex. The highly anticipated event drew excitement from fans and food enthusiasts alike. Known for his larger-than-life personality, Shaq brings his passion for great food and memorable experiences to his new venture. Now, this is why this is a big deal to me. Beyond his culinary offerings, Shaquille O'Neal's Big Chicken also aims to engage with the community. His philanthropy efforts have always been noteworthy, and those new establishments in Houston provides an opportunity to further contribute to the local area. Way to go, Shaq. And so, the restaurant's grand opening was just not about food. It was a celebration of community, bringing people together to share the joy of good company and exceptional cuisine. Now, much closer to home, and I want to say that because I am your homegirl, and our home state is Minnesota. Indeed, there were many things happening globally. But we want to give some love to what's happening on the home front, right? So USA Basketball, their 16U recently won its 4th straight gold medal at the FIBA Women's 16U America's Championship after defeating Canada in the gold medal game. They won 79-59 last Monday at the Poliforum Zemay in Merida, Mexico. Aaliyah Crump, a talented basketball player hailing from Minnetonka High School in Minneapolis, the Minneapolis Metroplex, played a significant role in this achievement. Despite not making the 17U team a year ago, being one of the youngest players at the tryouts at only 15 years old, 14 years old actually, she refused to give up, and instead, she used that setback for a comeback and fueled to work even harder, honing her skills and putting herself up to new heights. Now, in my recent interview with Aaliyah prior to the gold medal game, she shared with me that although she worked hard in the tryouts the year prior, she felt better prepared for this year's team tryout because she knew what to expect from last year's. So Aaliyah's unwavering belief in her abilities and her relentless pursuit of her goals paid off when she earned a spot on the USA Basketball 16U team this year. Congrats to Aaliyah Crump and Team USA. So, we know what this time is. Now we're going to do our Distinguished Diamonds segment. Today's Distinguished Diamond is someone who I love very, very much, and her name is Tisa Mitchell, formerly Tisa Thomas. And Tisa is joining us from St. Paul, Minnesota. Tisa, do you want to hop in and talk to us for a little bit? How are you today?
Hi, you look fabulous, as usual.
You look fabulous, as usual. as absolutely usual. Thank you so much for joining us today. This has been a long time coming. I've been talking about After the Whistle and you joining us and me being able to honor you as a Diamond in the Rough, our very first Diamond in the Rough showcase and shootout MVP,
Yep. Yep.
and probably more than likely the very first diamond that was even selected. And so you're like the first. You're like numero uno.
I get so nervous and shy to hear all the things that I've done in the past. Like it makes me blush. But yeah, that is all. I did all that stuff. That's
You did it, and
yeah.
so we want to talk. We want to honor you with our distinguished diamond acknowledgement as an honoree, and but more importantly, for me, it's important or equally important is the ability for everybody to understand what after the whistle means for you, as well as perhaps what the diamond and that whole journey meant to you as well. So let's just talk a little bit about that. And I want to ask the first question is, how has your life been transformed since your participation in the Diamond in the Rough program? Guess how many years ago?
Oh my goodness. What is it? 23 now? So I was
23.
23. I
Yeah.
was a senior. So in 2000, and it would have been in 2000. Yeah. So 23 years ago. 23
Yes,
years
yes.
ago.
So right around this
Um,
time, because we would hold the Diamond in the Rough Showcase and Celebrity Shootout in June. You guys were selected in March, right after the state tournament, and so we did a few activities between March and June. We would get to do some get-togethers, do some photo ops for you guys, some community engagement appearances, and also some community service, which you were pretty active in all of those activities. And then it culminated with a at the showcase at the University of St. Thomas, where we would bring you guys on campus and show you all what it was like to experience being a Division I athlete. And it was our idea to expose you guys to that, and also to make you decide, do I really want to be a D1 athlete? Because it was all these different things that were required of you during that weekend. We
mhm.
crammed it into one weekend, but we really wanted you to experience that. And so, how has your life transformed since that weekend?
Oh goodness. 23 years ago. So I was already committed when that weekend happened. So I was already headed to Southeast Missouri State University on a basketball scholarship. So I was already going there, but to be able to get a little taste of what college life would be like, I can't remember if we stayed in the dorms or not. I feel like we did. Again,
Yeah,
this was 23 years ago.
right. Well, and yeah, you guys absolutely did, because that was part of it too.
Yeah.
We wanted you guys to see what dorm life would be like, and the
Yeah.
University of St. Thomas was gracious enough to allow for that to happen for you guys during that weekend as well. And they had pretty nice dorms,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
not always the case,
Yeah.
especially 23 years ago.
Because the campus looks totally different now. The gym is not even the same gym that we played in. Like they've reconfigured it and really built it up. But I remember staying on campus and I remember using that to my benefit because I had never stayed in the dorm before. Well, maybe for basketball tournaments and just one night. But this felt different. This felt more like a preparation for college. And when I did get to college, our we were in the suites because we were athletes, so it was a little bit nicer because we were athletes. But it was great to have that idea of what this life would be like. You're in the dorm, you go to the cafeteria, you go to the gym, you go to class, and that was kind of my life while I was in undergrad playing ball. So it was school, practice, school, weightlifting, school, like all the things revolved around basketball, and it was the same cadence of life that it was that weekend. Um, since that time, 23 years ago. I'm gonna keep saying that. Since that time, I got my BA. My dog is behind me. That's what's moving. I got my BA. I got a master's. I went to cosmetology school. I got another master's. Now working on a PhD. Also, like extra life things. Found a really great guy in college. We met on the practice team. So we practiced against the guys on campus, and he was one of those guys, and I was like, oh, he's cute. So we're married now, and we have a son. So life is. I remember at that age just preparing and trying to think about what my life would be like, and now I'm living that life.
So let's talk about that a little bit. So what do you think were some of your most significant challenges that you faced during your journey? So let's talk about kind of two steps. Let's talk about between high school to college and then college to adulting, as we call it.
Yeah. Yeah. So when I think about diamonds in the rough, part of that name, that label is rough. So growing up in the inner city, like 23 years ago, Minneapolis was not too different than what it is now. There's still, you have the high crime. You have, at that time I was in high school, there was very high teen pregnancy rates.
We
There,
were the highest in the nation. And let me tell you,
yeah,
a huge
yeah,
designation for the Fraser Foundation and the Diamond Program. Do you know that we were able to eradicate being the top teenage pregnancy location in the entire country through our programming? And I would like to think that, oh, this is such a big deal and I did this, but it was really you guys. It was really the young women in the community that decided we want to do something else than lay down with somebody and get pregnant. That's huge.
yeah, yeah. And there was a lot more emphasis on just getting young women at that time to do something. It didn't have to be basketball.
Mm-mm.
It just happened to be basketball at North because we were really good. We were kicking everybody's butt. So yeah, people wanted to come and play ball. And it when you're playing ball, you can't be out in the streets. You When you're playing ball, you can't be out in these little boys' faces. When you're playing ball, like your time is occupied and you want to finish your schoolwork so you can play. You want to do more things. So growing up on the north side, low income, we had to figure it out. And we also knew, I knew for sure that my parents couldn't afford to pay for my college. I knew that wasn't an option for me. So I
Right.
knew that I had to use this sport as a tool. And I did. So I used my ability. I'm 6'1". I was gonna play something. I was some field, some court, some ball was gonna get shot
Somewhere.
somewhere, right? Somebody gonna pay for this education I'm about to get. And that's what happened. But I had to manifest that for myself, and then stay focused. And women like you helped keep me focused. I saw the life that you lived, the way that you carried yourself, the way that you were raising your children. I said, oh, hold on. There's other options here. But if you don't have that opportunity to see that, you're gonna slide into the perpetual cycle that is poverty. So
Yes. Yes.
so
Yeah.
yeah, being able to play ball, to stay focused, to have something to work towards, and to have that constant reminder from programs like Diamonds in the Rough, from different women specifically in my life that I could look up to and say, she's doing this. I could do that too. And to have that support, very beneficial in making not just get to college, but through college. My high school coach, phenomenal woman. I don't even want to say her first name because it feels wrong, but Coach Johnson Patterson.
I will because I'm a little closer to her age, but Faith Johnson Patterson, kudos to her. I definitely
Yes.
want to give her a shout out. She hopefully will be a guest on our show, upcoming episode very soon. But one of my mentors, one of my role models, and that's again one of the reasons why I decided to start the Fraser Foundation, and from that was birthed the Diamond in the Rough program, because I can't, as much as I would want to try to pay them back for something, we have to pay it forward. We have to do that. And I'm so honored because I feel like you've done that too. And I wanted to ask you to share, if you can think of one key lesson or value that you learned during your time in the program that shaped your life.
Oh, I have to pick one.
You, I mean, you can, if there's more than one, that's fine. But
yeah.
like, what's the first thing that popped into your mind when I said that?
The first thing that popped in my mind was be a lady. And that's the phrase that popped in, but in my brain, the rest of the branches of that was what does it look like to be an emerging Black woman in America? And we're taught to be a certain way, but to actually be a lady, we were the lady polars. We're still the lady polars, but what does that mean? And it took on a different definition because a lady, you're still tough, you're still strong, you're still capable, you're beautiful. Like those were things that just popped up, especially looking at you, of course. But those are things that I remember, like, I can do both. I don't have to choose. I can be a lady, and this is what a lady looks like. We have my other teammates, Tierra Medlock. We don't dress the same, but we still displayed ourselves in a manner that is, we carried ourselves like a lady.
Yes, presentable,
Yes.
strong,
Yep.
confident. I
Yep.
mean, those are the things that, were instilled into me. And the best way that I could pay any type of homage or any type of payback is to be that person. And not, I would talk to you guys about that all the time. You just can't talk about it. You got to be about it.
You got to
And if
walk the
there was,
walk.
yeah, and if there was any time where that would be a conflict, that really I would try to eradicate that because I'm not going to say what I can't be because I need to model whatever that is. Because young people, y'all are the quickest to sniff out whatever's not real in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Which is great. That's why I love working with young people because y'all are so real. Y'all are the realest of the people on the planet. And I think that's why God loves y'all the best too, young people. As we get older, He loves us too, but them babies, them young people.
Yeah, and you know what? You bring up something that also I thought about. When you're from the hood, I do often feel like you're born with a special skill to sniff out fakeness. And there were other programs that wanted, yeah, come be with our program, inner city youth. But it was very quickly sniffed out. Like you don't actually care for us. You just want to check a box or you want to just give your money and run or hands off. That doesn't work. That's not going to make a long-term systematic problem be solved by throwing money at it.
No doubt. No doubt.
So
And yeah, yeah.
the hands-on, the let's do community service, let's be together in this way is something that something I also took away. Like, let's not just be here on this stage. Let's go into the community and do some service also. So those are messages that I still live by. How are we giving back? What else can I do? You opened your home. A lot of this is about you, by the way. You opened your home like you would, so inviting to everyone. Those are things that I now do in my home. I mean, not everybody,
Yes.
but like,
Well, look, I didn't invite everybody either, and I still don't. But
yeah,
you're right.
yeah. Like the love was there. The genuineness is there. Like I
No
can
doubt.
show up who I am, and it's okay. I'm gonna be
Yes.
accepted. And even if I don't look or dress like everyone else, I might speak it or whatever my experience is. Everyone was accepted. Everyone came as who they were, and there was no one who felt othered.
Yes. So that's so important. Yes, that is so important. So there's a couple that leads me to another question that I want to ask you. So what do you what specific moment or individual from your high school days, or even your college days, because feel like a lot of the things from the Diamond in the Rough program helped you transition to college. So if are there any individuals or moments from either of those that stick out to you the most, that have made a lasting impression on you so far? You still have a lot of life to live too.
I do, and I've also lived a lot of life. And when I sit back and get asked questions like this, man, I've done a lot. I've talked to a lot of people, but the one person who really teammate and friend who stands out to me is Tamara Moore. Why
Yes.
being able to play, and I played with her for 2 years. So I was a freshman, sophomore when she was a junior, senior. But to watch that woman and to see the work and the preparation and the knowledge that she has about basketball and how she would just make everyone better around her on the court, off the court. She remembered everyone's stats for every game. It blew my mind. And to see how successful she has been in her career, both on the court and off the court now, like first female head coach of a men's team in the United States.
Of a college men's team, yes.
College, yes, college.
Yes.
Break, like shattering the
Ceilings. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Backboards. I was gonna say glass back.
Backboards, because this is after the whistle. Yes. You can say backboards. Shattering the backboards. Yes.
Right,
Backboards of life. I love it.
But to be like, to watch her, and when I was freshman, sophomore, what year? I was 13, 14. And to watch her just blossom into a phenomenal college player, a professional athlete, and for her to come back in the example she did, how every break she would come back, she would talk to us, she would let us know how college was going. Same with Mari Horton, who went off to Rutgers University, and Tamara played at Wisconsin. But they never stopped giving back, and just to see the work that it took. It's like, okay, is that I was able to kind of see for myself, is this the route that I want to go? Do I want to give that much, or do I want to come back and not hold all that back? Like, how much of this basketball do I want to go? And if I want to be professional, this is what it looks like. Right. If I want to play overseas, this is what it looks like. But to have that example at 13, 14 was very, very mind changing, route changing, journey changing, all the things. To be able to see that and to have that so close made a huge difference in how I searched for a college, my recruiting journey, what I wanted. It gave me a different opportunity to see things differently, because no one in my family has ever played Division I basketball at the university, any university.
But that was the reason why, and I knew you weren't the only one. And that was the reason why it was so important. And there's so many other things that I want you to share, so many other things that, nuggets that I know you have to offer our audience. And so, Tisa, you have to promise me you're going to come back as a featured guest and not just as Distinguished Diamond. I know you get a little shy, but look at you. It's just me and you talking. There's not thousands of people that are going to see this.
I am shy. I don't like this kind of attention. Like, I'm ducking because I'm nervous and I want to hide behind my camera, and I can't. But
what I do want to ask one last question, and then we're going to bring in our featured guest. But are there any upcoming projects or initiatives that you're currently involved with that you would like to share with our audience?
Oh goodness. I'm going back home to coach. So I'll be back as assistant coach.
Make that announcement. Yes.
I'll be back, at North High School as an assistant coach.
Minneapolis North High School.
So where I graduated from, where I first was with Crystal Flint. So I'll be back. Very excited to be back home. I already feel the love from the people that do know. So looking forward to that. Also working to complete my dissertation. Y'all pray for me, light me a candle, send me all the well wishes. My dissertation topic is going to be on athletic coaching and culture.
Oh,
so, yes. Yep. So making
please
that.
Invite me. I will be there. I will be there.
Yes. Absolutely. Don't worry when the time comes. Absolutely. So looking forward to finishing that so I can go and actually read the books that I like to read and do the other things I want to do and not just read journal articles. So looking to finish that, and that's real. I really try to keep a low profile,
Very
and
good.
just give back in quiet ways behind the scenes. So
Well,
yeah.
um, we it's hard for any of us over 6 foot tall to do anything quiet because everyone's always looking. Even though we try to just not, we try to kind of hide behind it, but it never works. So, and I've
No.
talked to you guys
Mm-mm.
about that, and you just have to be okay with the fact that we are who we are. We
Yes.
are wonderfully and magnificently and fiercely made, and so we just got to live in all of that. So, Tisa Mitchell, thank you so much for joining us. Again, you are our honored, distinguished diamond, and we look forward to seeing you as a featured guest very, very soon on Coach Leah's After the Whistle.
Yes,
Love you
ma'am. I
so
love you
much.
very much.
All right, now, so we're Tisa's getting out of here, but next we have, oh my gosh, somebody who's very, very dear to me, a very, very special guest, the talented Mike, the Cali-Kid, Lindsay. Now, before we bring him in, I want to reiterate with you a belief that has shaped my perspective on connections and the power of human relationships. As we embark on this incredible journey together, I firmly believe that we are all just one degree of separation from each other, which means this within our vast network of acquaintances and friends and connections, we are all linked by one single degree, a common thread that brings us closer than we might ever realize. It's a fascinating realization that highlights the potential for collaboration, mentorship, and even unexpected encounters that can shape our lives. So as we explore the stories of our guests each week and delve into the world of sports and beyond, let's remember that we are all more connected than we think. Together, we'll uncover the incredible tales that unfold when we embrace the power of our interconnectedness. So, Mike, thank you for joining us, and let's jump right into it.
Oh man, I was crying when you were saying that. I was just sitting here tearing up because I was like, "That's so emotional, Leah. That's so emotional." Oh Lord, I'm sorry I'm late, but I'm in Dubai right now. I was just playing one-on-one with Michael Jordan, and Mike, size 12, Jordan 1 mid. I need 6 pair. Okay, cool. So now I'm just sitting in the Bentley, chilling, and paparazzi, man, it's just hard. Like, hey, no more pictures. My God. Trying to do an interview with my sister, you know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous, Leah. It's ridiculous.
Oh my gosh. So
Oh.
that brings me into my very first question. You have got to be the funniest person that I know. Like, and I know some pretty funny people,
So,
like legit stand-up comedians.
so
You
where's
are
my
one of
Netflix
them.
special? Where's my Netflix special then?
Well, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. But
Okay,
right now you're
okay.
on Coach Leah's After the Whistle.
After
And
the
I'm
weekend, you
now
doing it big. You doing it big.
yeah. And but before I get into our first journey with After the Whistle, I've got to ask you about your experiences as a stand-up comedian. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Um, I'm gonna go real quick on like how I started. I never was like the class clown. I never even thought about doing comedy. When I got out of the Marine Corps, I went back home to Los Angeles and I started hanging out with 2 girls who were always at the comedy club. And so I started hanging with them, and one of them started dating AJ Johnson, who we all affectionately know as Ezel from the movie Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And then he would try to joke me, and I would joke him back because he was ugly and short. And so,
Uh-oh.
yeah, he used to talk about my teeth, but I told him I can get my teeth fixed. You can't fix ugly. You third generation ugly.
I
Your
can't with you.
granddaddy ugly. So, he said I was funny, and he said he was doing a show and he wanted to give me 5 minutes on stage. And I took that 5 minutes and I ran with it, and I've been on tour with Damon Wayans, some more, Ricky Smiley. Like, I've done a lot. I've opened up for a lot of musicians like everybody from 50 Cent to Vicky Winer. So I'm not just a one-trick pony. I can also do, clean stuff as well as, I'll curse you out too. Yeah. I try
Not
to stay a
that.
Christian. I try to stay a Christian, Lee. I try.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things again that is so endearing about you is your quick wit. You can't be quick-witted if you weren't as smart as you are. So you're also one of the most
Oh,
intelligent people that I know. And so we got to take it back just a little bit.
right.
Our first degree of separation is the fact that I am somebody who has always worked closely, even when I was doing my internships in undergrad at KMOJ Radio,
KMOJ,
89.9
baby.
FM.
89.9 KMOJ, the Twin Cities #1 station for R&B and hip hop.
And you still got you still got it. So you were known as a radio personality there. And
Yes,
that's
yes.
again, that's where we first met. So how did you get started in that field?
When I was on tour with some more, we performed at a club called, it wasn't Glam Slam, it was Glam Slam. We performed at Glam Slam, and it changed to the Quest. And Walter Q. Bear Banks Jr. was in the crowd, and he was
Very
laughing
different.
so hard. He came backstage, and he said, hey, why you guys didn't come to the radio station? And we said, well, we didn't know anything about it. So our plane didn't fly out till like 3, 4 o'clock the next day. And so he invited me down to the morning show, and I went down, and it was, I think back then it was John Suttles, Dana Diamond, and Q-Bear.
Yeah.
And I came on to the morning show, and I basically acted a donkey. And so, so when I flew back to L.A., Q-Bear had called me. He said, hey, man, you ever thought about a career in radio? And I said, well, not really. He said, well, we're looking to, bring you up to Minnesota. And I was like, well, I don't know about Minnesota. I didn't know it was that many black people in Minnesota.
Okay.
So the only thing I knew about Minnesota was prep and, the time.
And we all know each other, as you soon found out once you got there. We all actually know each other.
Yeah.
Like for real, like legit.
Everybody knows everybody. So, and it's funny because I still run into people who were in Minneapolis in my heyday, which was 1996 to 2004, and they'd be like, and I'd be like, yeah, and they'd be like, man, I used to love you, and this and that. So that's how I ended up on the radio in Minneapolis. I started out on the morning show, and then I did 3.5 years on the morning show, and I did 4.5 years on the afternoon drive time with my own show.
Yes. Well, during that time, again, that's how we met. And because KMOJ Radio was such a huge supporter of just pretty much any of my initiatives, but they really fell in love with our Diamond in the Rough program. And you, as well as Q Bear, actually became volunteers for our program.
Yeah.
And when we would take our teams out of town, you guys would provide just beautiful positive male role models for our young women, as well as, of course, a little security and bodyguarding and stuff like that, which I was very appreciative of as well.
Right.
But it was good because, again, it showed our young women what it would be like when they became basketball stars in their own right, and the kind of environments they would need to be in and how to be very selective in who they had as friends. How to move in crowds. And you guys taught them so many things that as positive males that I would not have ever been able to do as a woman. And so, hats off to you. Much gratitude. I'm so grateful. And you've been a supporter of the things that I've done even ever since. Both of us have made our homes in other states, but still are connected to KMOJ. But the thing that I want to ask you about now is, before you got to KMOJ, before you became a comedian, I found out, and I don't even remember how I found out, that you were in the Marines.
Yeah. Yeah, I was in the Marine Corps. I did 5 years. I'm actually a war veteran. I did Desert Storm, Desert Shield. I joined the Marine Corps when I was 17 years old.
Wow.
And I had been in the Marine Corps for at least 7 or 8 months before I even turned 18. So, I'm a war veteran, not just a veteran, but also a war veteran. And the Marine Corps was my fraternity of brothers. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Well, and that's a true testament to your discipline as well, because that's
Mhm.
one thing that, even though you have this facade on stage, especially that you're this wilding out comedian and all this and that, and that you
Mhm.
always are making people laugh. You're a very disciplined person. You're very disciplined in how you pursue things in life and things of that nature, which is another reason why I believe we've become such close friends and now
Right.
brother and sister, because you
Which
are
is
truly a
funny,
brother to
Liv.
me.
Which is funny because when I'm, like you said, when I'm not in my element and I'm sitting around thinking about stuff, because I like to move. My mind be moving when I'm not moving, and people be like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "Nothing. I'm good." They, "No, you're not." I'm like, "No, this is normally me. I'm chilling. Like I'm not." When I'm around people, because I love people, I'm funny. I like to have fun. A lot of people think I'm trying to get my jokes off, but I'm like, no, that's not any of my written stuff. That's just me being me. So yeah, you're right. I love to I love to think. I'm a thinker. I watch Jeopardy every day.
Wow.
I watch Jeopardy every day. So
Yeah, that's above my pay grade for sure.
right.
I'll be like, oh, that was the answer. I would have never
Yeah,
thought that. That's
yeah.
the I would have never thought that.
I be answering stuff. I be like, I don't even know how I know that, but I know it.
Yeah,
Like
now there are some, yeah, I connect with that too, because sometimes it's, in my body of work, there are different things that I've done, and I'm like, I don't even know
mhm.
why I know that. I don't, because it's
Right.
some of the experiences that I've been through,
Yeah.
but it's all culminated to this, which brings me to my next question to you
Mhm.
about your after the whistle moment. So
Mhm.
think for a moment, and I've hopefully you've had a chance to think about it since I invited you to the show. But what was that defining event or thought or realization that you made that there was a greater possibility behind? Because people, if when you look up Mike, we're going to have your bio in my printed version on
Okay.
Inside News. But you're also an actor. You've done a
Yes.
lot of
Mhm.
acting,
Yeah.
and you're a
Yeah.
comedian. But you've pivoted from that. So what made you decide that that wasn't necessarily what you wanted to do for your career and your future?
Well, one thing I can always do comedy. I mean, I did a show a couple weeks ago. I don't think I'll ever stop doing comedy as long as my schedule allows me to. But I was at a family reunion one time in Virginia. We flew from LA to Virginia. And my family, they were very proud of me. They were like, man, that's Mike. Mike's your cousin. He's a comedian. He's on television. This, and that. And they're just fascinated with me. But I met one of my mom's first cousins, Willie Parks. He was an airline pilot for American. And as a kid, I don't know if you remember the die-cast metal planes back in the day,
Yes.
but I used to collect airplanes, and back when kids used to do model cars and airplanes and stuff,
Yes.
I built them. I used to make the model cars and airplanes, and I had a fascination with aviation. And so finding out that he was a pilot and a black pilot at that, only 1% of America knows how to fly a plane. And out
Point.
of that
Yeah.
1%, just imagine,
Period.
how many are African American. So
Correct.
I was fascinated with him. Like, do y'all not realize this guy flies planes? Why you on me? I just tell jokes, and I
Right.
act, and I act. This guy can fly a plane. So just talking to him, and I said, you know what, Michael, you've been saving all your money and stuff, man. Put yourself through flight school. And I put myself through flight school. I have an aviation science degree in aviation. I'm a pilot. I've been a pilot since 2009. And I know you're gonna ask, but yes, I am getting my commercial pilot's license starting July. I'll be down in Florida with a 9-month program where I'll be getting my commercial pilot's license. So I'll be telling jokes in the cockpit of an airplane soon. So.
You will. I was telling my producer when we were putting together the show that there's a clip out there right now, a reel out there right now about a woman flight attendant, and her entire with the directions that they give at the beginning of your flight.
Mhm.
she's got jokes mixed in all of that, and I'm just
Oh
like,
yeah.
I can already see my brother now in that cockpit trying to
Oh
just
yeah. It puts
having
people
all
at
these
ease.
people.
It puts people at
It
ease. You
does.
know, you
It
have a
really
lot of
does.
people who have flight phobias and stuff like that, and stuff like that puts people at ease. So,
It does.
you know,
It does.
kudos to her. Kudos to her. She loves her. I can tell she probably loves her job. So,
Yes, yes.
but
So,
let's real quick. I just want to talk about you real quick.
oh my gosh, what?
Folks, Leah has worked hard for everything she has gotten. You are deserving of everything you have gotten. God has blessed you. He hasn't stopped blessing you. I am so enamored with my big sister, man. Like we've been calling each other brother and sister from day one. And because of you, I've met the young lady that you just had on, Tisa. Beautiful, beautiful. Tomorrow Moore, when Tomorrow Moore played for the LA Sparks, she hit me up, Mike, I got tickets for you. I'm at the games meeting Lisa Leslie, and, you know, I met Lisa in high school because I went to high school with Lisa Leslie and
Right.
Tina Thompson and Eldon Campbell. And, of course, Byron Scott came from our school, too, in Inglewood, California, Morningside High School. But just to see you getting your flowers and everything you deserve is just awesome. And you know I love you, and anything you got going on that I'm available for, you know I'm there. Because that last event we did in Dallas with the WNBA, I mean,
With Tall Girls United, our fashion show,
oh
yes.
my gosh, so many tall, beautiful women. Oh man, next time I'm wearing my Prince heels. I got to be taller, you know.
I can't with you. So, but before we let you go, I've got to ask you this question about.
Uh-huh.
Thank you for that, the kind words. First of
Yeah.
all, yeah, I don't take any of that for granted at all. I would tell you that how proud I am of you, and I was
Oh,
so pleasantly surprised when you shared with me that you were going back to school.
yes, yes.
But equally, if not more so, delighted to learn that you were going to serve as the women's basketball team manager. And for
Oh,
reasons that a lot of people don't realize, as the team manager, you have responsibilities that far supersede just preparing for a
mm-hmm.
game. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? So,
Mm-hmm.
what did that role teach you?
Well, I was a team manager, also the video guy. So I recorded all the games. I was the guy who put it on the internet so the other teams could see. And what I didn't realize was that they could hear everything I was saying.
Oh, goodness.
And so, and so a couple of girls got mad because sometimes the truth hurts. But I'm like, in practice, the coach told you to make the girl go left. So you hear me screaming on the camera, make her go left, make her go left. So I learned a lot about which girls really take the bowling seriously and which girls are just out there just to be out there. Like
Sure.
there's different levels to bowling. You know, after all the celebrity games that Tisa and all the girls saw me playing and they stole some of my moves and stuff, you
Oh,
know.
see, here we go.
They stole some of my moves, you know. Tomorrow I got to the league with some of my moves. But
See.
no, but like just to see, like Jesus was talking about, some of the levels that you have to be dedicated to that sport. And I just didn't see it in some of our girls. And I really wanted to let them know that, hey, you have a manager who knows WNBA players. They didn't know that part about me because I didn't, you know, tell that part about my life and stuff like that to them. But they
Sure.
don't even realize, like, I've seen what it takes to get to the league with some of these girls.
Sure.
We've seen, and we're not even talking about the Diamonds. Let's talk about how we watched Candace Parker when she was in the 10th grade.
Correct. Yeah. Our sister program, Chicago Hoops Express. Candace Parker played for Chicago Hoops Express.
Yeah.
Shout out to Gerald Davis. And when we would do our Teen Diamonds Minnesota, we would go to Chicago, and then they would come to Minneapolis,
Yeah.
and he brought that team that Candace was on to Minneapolis, but then we also played against that team in Chicago. So yeah, so our girls
Yeah.
got to see some of the best. But listen,
Yeah.
I gotta get you out of here. But before I do, I want to just again thank you so much for taking time out of your trip to Dubai and hanging out with with
Yeah,
Jordan.
no. Matter of fact, when I was talking to you, Magic Johnson had just called me. He wants some business advice. So, I'm gonna call him back, but I sent him straight to, voicemail for you.
Of course, because that's what you do. Well, love you so much, and thank you so much for joining us on Coach Leah's After the Whistle. You've got to come back, and
Yeah.
we've got to
And come
talk
back
about
on
our.
time. And come back on time. Yeah.
Yes, no
Yeah.
doubt.
Tell
No.
your assistant thank you. Your assistant thank you. She's a lifesaver. And next time, don't email me the instructions. Do exactly what she just did and
Yeah,
text them to me.
she's pretty dope. She's pretty dope.
Yeah.
All right, all right. Well, thank you so much, Mike. So at this time, we are going to give our honors to our community collaborators. And this week's community collaborators is Court Furniture. A little bit about Court Furniture. Now, they have been an amazing business partner for the Fraser Foundation, serving our participants and scholars that are recent college grads and or new home dwellers. More recently, shortly after Hurricane Harvey, Court partnered with both small, like mine, and much larger nonprofit organizations locally as well as nationally to provide restoration solutions, meeting the unmet needs of families recovering from Hurricane Harvey as well as other community devastation. The Fraser Foundation is grateful for our longstanding business relationship and honors Court Furniture for the amazing work they do in our communities. At this time, I would love for you guys to meet Dan Watkins, who is the district manager of Court, who joins us today to share a bit about why Court takes community engagement and support so seriously. Hey, Dan, thanks for hopping on with us.
How you doing, Coach Leah? I just want to say thank you for having me, and I've enjoyed the show. It has been enlightening and educational. It is awesome.
Well, thank you so much. And one of the things that many people don't know is that you were a pretty prolific high school player back in your hometown of Chicago, Illinois.
Yes, back in the 80s, yes. I was up there, but I end up, I was, back then you could be a multi-sport athlete, where today it's kind of like you gotta pick your main sport. But back in my day, we did multiple sports. But yes, thank you for acknowledging that.
Oh, no doubt. So I'm going to make you promise me right now in front of all these thousands and millions of people that are going to be watching this show that you're going to come back and be a featured guest on After the Whistle.
You know what? Only for you, I will do that. It has been 30 plus years, and I got 2 daughters that I pour everything into. But I will share. It is quite a story, though.
Yes, it is. It really is exceptional. So to find more information about Court Furniture Supportive Housing Division, which is what serves our nonprofit communities with their partnerships, you can visit their official website at www.court.com. And on their website, you can explore their range of services and solutions related to supportive housing, and just get a great piece of furniture. My house and offices are full of Court Furniture, and I send people there every day, all day, every day. It's one of the best places where you can find high quality furniture as well as the best customer service and client services. Y'all are exceptional.
Yes, thank you for that. We work really, really hard to build relationships up with customers that are long lasting, such as yourself. I have helped you, as well as the other folks in the outlet. One of the biggest things that I did want to share with everyone is that Court is committed to helping to do our part to end homelessness in the city of Houston, Houston's been nationally recognized as far as their efforts. And a lot of the programs that we have here are being replicated on the national level. So, it's really good. We all learn business to make money, but when we do something like this is a feel good, and when it has a positive effect on the community. So I'm
Well,
just proud of my company for doing that and doing my part to contribute.
well, absolutely, and the main reason how we met in the first place. Because when I was doing my work and was telling you, I was with Core Furniture before I even moved to Houston. And that's this part of your district now. But yeah, y'all have been doing phenomenal work for a really, really long time, and I'm again very grateful for Court's partnership, business partnership with the Fraser Foundation and our Stay Ready Suite program, and more importantly, all the work you do with all the nonprofits nationally. So Dan, I look so forward to you coming back on the show. Thank you for being a community collaborator honoree for Coach Leah's After the Whistle. Thank you.
Well, thank you for having me, Coach Leah. And I wanna piggyback Mike. I want to give you some flowers. It is so enlightening and inspirational to see what you're doing, how you're evolving and growing. So I just want to say thank you for even considering having a Dan Watkins on your show. So I would love to be a featured guest, and we can chop it up, as the kids say.
Indeed, indeed. All right now. All right, thank you. All right, so Dan's getting out of here now, but folks, this has been an amazing action-packed show. Be sure to like and subscribe and share this show. If you're on our podcast platforms, either Spotify or Apple or Amazon, be sure that you share that information with your friends. Be sure to go on our our Insight News YouTube. We are really trying hard to get all of our subscribers to go to that platform as well. All right, everybody. Well, again, this is Coach Leah, and this has been another episode of Coach Leah's After the Whistle. Have an amazing rest of your week, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye now.